Welcome to the studio. From the beginning of my YouTube channel, my intent has been to teach art, to help people with specific problems and understanding. I have a lot of years in public education and then in teaching through my studio, and I feel like I've got a lot to give. There's a huge number of videos out there that address art from a single application. But I want to address it just a little bit differently. I want to address it from understanding. And my hope is to bring in those applications to teach you specifically about some methods and things while I'm teaching you about the elements and principles of art. The elements of art are the building blocks. They are line, shape, space, form, value, color, and texture. These are present in all art. They're used different ways, and sometimes we don't think about it until we think about it. And that's what I kind of want to do here, is for you to be able to think about the things that build art, the things we use to make something, and then to understand them through the principles, which are balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, proportion, and unity. Look at these. If you have been taught otherwise, in other words, a lot of artists are trained differently, a lot of art teachers. They have different reference material. I have so many reference books on art, and almost every one of them treat this list a little differently. But this is how I'm going to treat the list. And within that list are many other things that are dovetailed in. Some people give you 14 principles of art. I give you 8. When I study balance, I also study the different kinds of balance. I don't divide them up. When I study contrast, I also study gradation. I don't break it up. And that way you can see the difference between what contrast produces and what gradation produces. When I study emphasis, we'll also study theme and dominant subject and subordinate areas, and we'll see how they play into creating good art using the elements. When I study movement, a lot of people put pattern and rhythm into movement and use it as one principle. I kind of divide them off, and there's some other things that come into this. When we study those three, I'll probably do them close to the same time, if not in the same session. And then there is proportion, and there is unity. And when I study unity, I always study harmony and dissonance at the same time, because to me they fit into the subject of unity. That's the way I approach it. Another thing I hope to bring into this is critical analysis. Sorry about that. That is the ability to look at the elements in light of the principles and decide whether a work is successful or not. In critical analysis, no more than 10% should be based on, I like this, it doesn't speak to me, I think that's a piece of trash. All those comments you hear about art. It helps you to judge beyond our likes and our dislikes, and gives us an understanding of why a piece is considered successful. And I found in teaching my students about critical analysis, which I don't generally do within my studio now, but in academia, I taught my students about critical analysis, and it opened them up to a lot of thought that they would not have had without that. So that's why I will put that in there. Also, I will be handling different kinds of materials and methods so that you can see across the board how these things work together to create good visual communication. I'm going to try to do most of this in about a 2-month span. My hope is that I can do a couple of videos a week and post them. If you get behind, they will be numbered so that you can go back to where you were. If you should get them in the wrong order, that's not going to hurt you too badly, because what's going to hurt you is the holes, the things that you just miss, that you don't understand. So I encourage people to do it at their pace and get that done. The other thing we're going to cover, and I didn't list it here, but I will now, is perspective. Many people put perspective in here with the principles. And while you do need to understand perspective within all of this, I consider it a whole different unit of thought. So I will try to teach that as a separate unit as well. That's my plan. And I hope that you will enjoy it and that you will grow as an art student, or as an art observer, as a producer of art, by coming and joining me in the studio. Until next time.